Now what we will do is, we'll just look at the basic steps. What are the stages in the sexual response in male and female?
Okay.
It's somewhat similar, but the method is different. What is happening in the body is different and the duration is different. So you basically have 4 stages. So one stage is of excitement, there's another next stage is plateau, and the third stage is that of climax or the orgasm, and after that resolution. Okay. The main difference in male and female is that most of the men have a very short duration of all the stages happening. So it might be anywhere from 3 minutes to 5 minutes or even 10 minutes. That is kind of like average from men.
To resolution. Okay.
It's pretty fast. But many people don't know that for females, it's generally much longer.
Okay.
You can have women having like 10 minutes altogether, but that's kind of rare. So it's usually around half an hour to 1 hour for most of the females. There you have a big disparity.
Yeah, because for men it's pretty short, and for women it could vary. It could be more than just 10 minutes for them.
That is the reason for all the resentment. Before the women starts, men is finished.
Absolutely, it makes sense right now. Yeah.
So when the men has gone to the resolution phase,
women are probably still at
probably in the excitement stage.
So
that is the main problem. That is the main problem in the society, that people don't understand the difference in duration. So people need to understand that if you want to make your partner happy or for them to come through, you need to spend time. If you have a female partner, you need to spend time for them to reach that. And when you look at each stage separately, what are the changes happening in the body, physiological?
Absolutely.
So in the stage of excitement, you can call it arousal, you have changes in your mind, and your body changes with the changes in blood pressure, there is an increase in muscle tension, your heart rate increases, your breathing increases. So everything kind of starts to change. And only once it has reached to the next level, and the blood pressure has been high for a while, then the vaginal lubrication and the enlargement of the vagina, the vagina actually increase in size. These things happen at a later stage. So what happens is that if a man is too fast and the woman has not gone through the stage where she reaches the proper lubrication or vaginal enlargement, you would have a tight small vagina, dry vagina, and penetration would become painful. You understand? So that is what is happening very commonly. Many people complain about lack of lubrication and stuff. And then the man is done. The ejaculation is over, the climax is over, and the woman has not started yet. And when you come to the stage of plateau, again women have a much longer duration of plateau phase compared to the men. And then comes the orgasm stage. So the changes that is happening physiologically, the increase in muscle tension, the increase in BP, and all the changes that happen in the body are increased in rapidity towards the end. So what happens is that in women during orgasm, these changes leads to a lot of neuromuscular changes with release of certain chemicals in the brain. In fact, there are 30 areas in the brain which gets activated. 30 areas in the brain. So it's like a big thing physiologically. It affects your physiology, your body, your mind in a large way. Sex is very important. Normal sexual activity is very important, because whatever the held up energy is there, it needs to flow. Otherwise it will become a negative energy, because 30 areas in the brain is getting affected. So there is a high release of oxytocin, it's a neurotransmitter, and then you have release of dopamine, which is a feel good factor, which gives the feeling of euphoria, and there are a lot of endorphins being released, and it causes analgesic effects. So when there is a sharp pulsatile release of all these chemicals, the body goes into a stage where of very high muscle tension, and there is a contraction of vaginal and perineal muscles. So that stage of euphoria and orgasm in female is unfortunately not known to many couples. Not even females, many females know that they can actually have orgasm. And this research shows that only 10% of the women are having regular orgasms. And that a large percentage of women, 30 to 40%, actually don't know what is orgasm at all. Another important thing is that people think that females have orgasm or the climax through vaginal penetration. That means when the penis is penetrating the vagina, that is how they get orgasm. That is where people are wrong. Very, very few women get orgasm through vaginal penetration, because there is an organ outside the vagina which is called clitoris, is the equivalent of penis in men.
Okay.
Women have clitoris, which is exactly same as penis.
Okay.
And they have 8,000 nerve endings. So it's the most sensitive organ in a female body is clitoris. And this nerve endings is like much higher than the men. Men think that okay, their penis is very sensitive, but in fact clitoris is much more sensitive, because they have more nerve endings, nerves, sensation. So clitoris needs stimulation for most women to achieve orgasm.
Okay.
This many people don't know. So in order to women to achieve the climax, it's a totally different thing other than vaginal penetration, which is required. Another thing, there is something called G-spot. G-spot is again an area in the vagina, 2 centimeter on anterior wall.
Okay.
This is having a bundle of neuromuscular tissue, which is also highly sensitive. So whatever the sexual pleasures that they feel from the vaginal penetration is mostly from the stimulation of the G-spot.
Okay.
And people don't know about G-spot. People don't even doubt that it exists. Okay, so the nerve supply to the actual vagina is quite small. It's not very sensitive. Only the lower 1/3 of the vagina has some nerve supply. The upper 2/3 don't have much nerve supply. So you can imagine that it's not sensitive much like the outside.
Absolutely.
That is because women have to deliver normally. If a big head is coming down through the vagina, imagine if they have a lot of nerves.
It could be very
more painful than what it is.
Yes.
So for that reason, only the lower third of the vagina has a lot of nerve supply, which is also not comparable to the clitoris. So all the sensation comes from outside. People need to understand that for women to actually have
an orgasm, they need, it makes sense.
Okay.
So this is like a complete understanding of how the male orgasms or the male sexuality works and a female sexuality works.
It is different.
Everybody goes through the same 4 stages, but the time differs from a man to a woman. And it is equally important for a man to understand how much time does it take for a woman to reach the 4th stage, and it's equally important for them to make same efforts like a woman makes in an effort.